can all probably feel that it's been a short night. We're still evaluating the video right now. A lot goes into these next days. We've seen the players in a lot of different situations. Now 3 games also, and you ask guys to make plays and make hard decisions, and that's where we are. This last night's game, not much has changed since then. Liked a lot of the things we did. Whenever you can get a shutout and see so many positive things on the offensive side of the football and special teams that you like, that's the position you want to be in. So that's kind of where we are. Maybe better for me to answer your questions.
So did your take on, you had a chance to look at the film as well, on Kenyon Green's?
I thought he did some good things. He's missed a little bit of time, but there are some flash plays that he had. But Kenyon Green is a good football player. Again, the injury has kind of knocked him back a little bit, but when he's been out there practicing, we've seen these type of plays that you're talking about. For you to bring him up, everybody kind of noticed some of the blocks that he made. He's right on schedule, progressing the way we would like for him to.
When you're looking at the offensive line as a whole, how much does having guys who can help support Justin Britt as backups, even beyond maybe even a center, kind of weigh into that?
I think you look at all positions, not all, but most. Whenever you can do a couple things, it's important. Interior, if you can snap the ball and play guard too, that's a pretty good big deal. If you can play both safety positions, if you're a nickel back that can punt return, or cornerback that can be the kickoff returner, the more things you do, of course, the more it helps you. And back to the offensive line, we've been able to see some of those things that a few of the guys can do.
What is your timeline like for how you all will start? Does that begin today, or do y'all take some days?
That's kind of flexible. It's kind of fluid. And as I said, we haven't completely finished watching the video together. I'm getting ready to go back with the offense right now. But we have time. Last night, of course, told us a lot, but we'll take our time too. It's no hurry we want to make the decision, let guys know, but we want to, make good informed decisions a little bit. But as far as the timeline, that'll keep going. We'll talk a lot today, talk a lot tomorrow. Daily communication is what we'll be having.
What have you thought of Scott Quesenberry?
Like Scott. Scott's done some good things. We brought him here for that reason. Whenever you can snap the football, that's a good start. And we talked about how much we've kept Justin Britt out, but Scott stepped in and done a good job, and the offense has continued to move along with him in there. And he's played in the league for a while. He has history too.
Special teams and the importance of that, what you guys place in it, how much does that kind of formulate some of the final decisions, guys that actually are good on teams, not just good in a position?
Well, as we talk about the more things you can do playing multiple positions, for a lot of the positions, special teams are just as important. Linebacker position, the back seven, I should say, wide receiver, tight end, even the running back position. We expect, a lot of those guys that will be on the 48-man roster on game day to be able to help us on special teams. So that'll be a big part in it.
Lovie, your thought on rookies? Some head coaches are hesitant to thrust them in leadership roles, put them in starting roles, but you have a number of rookies who's shown up and shown out, as you say. What are your thoughts on your rookie class? How they're doing?
Well, I like veteran players a lot more than rookies, and I'm gonna like these rookie players a lot more, I should say, when they're not a rookie anymore. But I don't get into that. To me, it's the best player. They're rookies. They're older players, been around for a while. It doesn't matter at all, really. We're going to go with the guys that we see can help us right now. So happens with our football team right now. There are quite a few of the rookies we feel like can do that. Won't hesitate to play them at all.
How have you seen the players respond to how you've approached coaching this team?
I think they've done everything we've asked them to do throughout and like doing it. It's not a democracy, starting off with that. You know, we're not, well, I should say it's not a dictatorship. But there's a certain way we're going to do things that we believe in, that we know works. And the players have, what I need to do, coach. That's the approach everyone has taken from the moment, you know, I've been in this role. We've been, as a coaching staff, we've assembled. So that's what we're dealing with daily, and we don't expect it to change.
One of the things players kind of bring up whenever they talk about defense and working with you is like they can talk, they can have a voice. It doesn't mean it's going to go right for them, but they value being to have a chance to talk. Why is that important to you, and how does that kind of produce answers and ways of playing?
Well, I think when you're a football team, when you say you're in this together, if a player puts so much effort into whatever his position is that he has questions, I love it when a player is so invested that they know what to ask, starting off with that, and want it to be explained. There's a reason why we do everything. There's a reason why we find guys if they're late. I mean, there's a reason why we pat guys on the back if they make a good play. There's a reason why we ask our quarterbacks to do certain things. There's a reason why, you know, we play man technique a certain way. And if they're invested in that, they'll feel like it's theirs. And I think it helps you get to a point, though, when you keep asking guys to do something. They want to see themselves have some success doing it. And that's when they really buy in. And I think that's where we are right now. We're growing, learning all that, but guys have bought into how we want to do things.
The connection that seemed pretty apparent throughout training camp was Brandon Cooks and Davis Mills. How would you describe their level of chemistry?
I would, you know, before we display it in front of everyone, say it's good. And the excitement that I have about where we are offensively is that, you know, we made the decision not to play Brandon, not to play LT, not to play Justin, and Pharaoh Brown and some of our offensive guys. But the chemistry that I've seen throughout has been really good. They like playing together, and that's going to lead to positive results.
Is the identity of the offense where you want it to be? You talked a lot of this offseason about wanting to run the ball a little bit better. Do you feel like you're headed closer in that direction, especially after last night?
Absolutely. I absolutely do. We want to be a tough football team that loves to run the football. And I think that's what we've been trying to establish throughout the preseason. That should open up things. And by saying that, that's not saying we don't want to be a good passing team, but you know, at our practices we have 9-on-7, where the defense knows that offense is running the ball, do something about it. Yes, we want that to be our personality. There were a couple plays too last night that just pro-eye leads. Maybe one of my favorite plays last night was just a lead week with Damon, with Troy leading as a fullback and Damon carrying the ball for 9 yards. One of my favorite plays from the game. Yes.
Noticed Derek Rivers went down for a little bit. Do you have a sense of whether his injury is serious or whether he can be back soon?
Well, you know, whenever they come out, you know, you're concerned, and we are still, but, you know, we're evaluating him right now, and hopefully, you know, we'll be finding out something in the near future. But just talking about his play, I mean, every game I think we've talked about how Derek has played. He has been a force outside rushing the passer. Just love everything that he's done. It's unfortunate that he went down with that injury. We'll let you know a little bit more.
You've had other players sidelined with injuries throughout training camp, like Anthony Auclair. You're approaching decisions here. How do you handle how you'll approach those positions and those players whenever cutting it down to 53?
Well, I think you have to take all the information that you have as you're making those decisions. Anthony, we have history with Anthony. When you have history with someone, And so you know how they perform in certain situations. But you take that into consideration. But and you also you have to see where you are right now, currently, and how players that got an opportunity to play, how they played. We have some of those situations. With some injured players that will be on our roster. We know that. And we'll just have to keep managing it. Normally, it works itself out. It seemed like this year, some of these decisions are about as hard as they've ever been. And as a coach, you want to be in these situations.
How much of what you saw last night makes it easier, tougher, neither, both, as far as making cuts?
I think every time you let guys play and prove who they are, it makes it easier. So you start with that. You want the players to be able to get every opportunity, as many opportunities as possible, for us to see exactly who they are. So last night, the more games you play, the more situations you put the players in, the better decisions you can make. And that's where we are right now.
How do you look at the call? You have to make it fullback.
Tough call. Or I could go down about 7, 8 other positions. I'm going to say tough call too, because and that's the beauty of where we've been with training camp. Is you have a couple guys seem like at every position that warrants maybe being on the roster, playing time. But in the end, I don't think they're really hard to see. I say there's hard to see, but in the end, no, if you just start looking at everything that's happened, your gut will tell you which direction you should go at all positions. So you mentioned the fullback position. There's at least a couple of good guys that we've liked at that position, and we'll make a good decision.
All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Last one.
So that's
I'm glad I did my job.
you did.
Let me ask you, when was the first time maybe it was back last year, but even if it was back last year, when was the first time you knew that you had a shot to be you guys as the guy for you guys?
Well, I'm going to go all the way back to, I'm coming from college, so I kind of knew a little bit about who Davis was before I got here, after I got here. And just him running the look squad against the one defense. Saw good things then, getting to know him. But I think after he started playing, and we started watching all the quarterbacks around, and he started playing, and that's when I said, hey, this he's in that mix with like the rest of the young first-year signal callers that I think will be good football players in the league. And that confidence in him has only grown every step along the way, right up until the last drive or the first drive of the second half last night. It's easy to say, he's our starting quarterback. Did I say that? I can go out. You guys ask about starting quarterback. Davis Mills is our starting quarterback, and I love what he's going to be able to do leading us.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.